What's going on? This is C.O.B with your two hosts, GAV and Billy D.
Back at it again. Back at it again.
I'm trying to make sure I point at you like,
Oh, okay.
I could have been pointing that way. I could have been like Billy
Right.
D.
Yeah.
All right. So today's topic, we're going to give y'all basically a podcast slash video of veteran transition. And no, we're not talking about the transitions that Biden administration was talking about. We're talking about transitioning. and I don't like to get political because this is a safe space for veterans. We don't really care what your political party is. You come here to laugh and have fun. But yeah, we talking about transitions between being someone wearing that uniform, Billy, and being who we are now, which is
Yeah.
college
Look at
students, grown men, college
yeah.
students slash workers.
It almost sounds goofy to say.
It almost do. If you kind of look at college as like you should have done that at 18 to 21, what y'all in school for. But
Right.
if you look at it as far as other adults don't got the opportunity to redo college, then it ain't that goofy.
Yeah. So I think that we have a good opportunity. We kind of fell into like the perfect area to like go to school. We had our lives, our military lives, and then now
Mm,
we just kind of playing back what we didn't do, what all these younger kids are doing.
facts.
Yeah.
Um, so the transition in life, you know, we talking about, at some point you made a decision to be like, yeah, I don't think I'm re-enlisted.
Man,
No, we had. Go
I'm
ahead.
about to say, I promise you that I say that every duty station I went to, and I was at 4 duty stations, I believe. Everyone I always said, I'm about to get out. I went through the whole process at every duty station and always changed my mind for some reason, besides Fort Hood. I went to Fort Hood. Fort Hood kind of turned me out, and I was like, no, I'm getting out.
I'm in the same boat, my friend. Fort Hood was the one that broke me down. And I was 7 to 8 years in. By the end of my enlistment, I have done 7.5 years. So I round up. I did my 8 year obligation.
Mhm.
So most people consider that what a career soldier. When you go over five, you go over two. You do. I re up about 3 times because sometimes I did the re ups where your time wasn't lapsed, but your window open. For all the veterans
Okay.
out there to know what the window open
Hmm.
means you're open for re-enlistment. You can go talk to the re-enlistment NCO, whoever they may be in your company. Did you know your NCO, your re-intention NCO? Did you know that
Uh,
person?
the only one I knew like kind of close was in Germany, because they was always at the unit. And then my buddy, Chris, he actually reclassed to be a retention NCO. So yeah, so it was like that unit for some reason was real close with the retention NCO.
And this what duty station was this? Germany?
Yeah, this was Germany in Baumholder. Yeah,
It's because you guys were Oconus. What's the word? Was they say Conus and Oconus overseas?
yeah, I
And
think it was Oconus. Like when I was in Hawaii, you know this. I think it was considered Oconus. So Oconus to Oconus. Yep.
so what I want to say is I've been Oconus to Hawaii. I've never been over to Germany, but I feel like when you're overseas in a Hawaii, Korea, Germany bomb holder, or Vincenza, Italy, I feel like the retention NCO is close with the unit because everybody either got that duty station because that's what they asked for,
Hmm.
or the retention NCO is trying to get you back to big army.
Right.
You know what I'm
That that
saying?
that could be too, because I know it's a little bit different when you transition from Oconus to Oconus versus Oconus back to the States. So I think it's a little bit different on how the reenlistment and everything goes. But I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
And we both could be wrong, but the army change every day.
Right.
Our army
Yeah, true.
changing as we speak is changing. So I knew both of my retention NCOs at some point in Hawaii with Sergeant Greer. When I got to Fort Hood,
Hmm.
it was a strata for our company. Fort Irwin, I don't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure I knew them because I always was like that soldier that PCS there and was like, I don't like this unit. Get me out. Like as soon as I get there, like every 2D station
Yeah, yeah.
I've been the black sheep. I'll make friends eventually, but I
Hmm.
come there like, don't talk to me. All y'all stupid. I don't want to be
Right.
here.
It's always like that, especially when you go to a new place. Like your place that you came from, your previous duty station is always better than the duty station where you at now.
Mm. That's a fact. But even my first duty station, I came there with that same attitude. I think that's just me. And I think that's
Yeah.
why some people either liked me or hated me. Like, why he think he better than us?
Right.
I just be in formation looking around. And I was a military brat, so I've been to a lot of schools. So
Hmm.
I read my surroundings real quick. If I
Hmm.
don't feel like it's like, I'm like, fuck this. Get me out of here.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. But that's my own personality defect. Even when I first got to Hawaii, which was like you said, my first duty station, and you're right. Nothing
Hmm.
compares to the first one. Everything just got downgraded after
Right.
Hawaii. Everything seems to be, man, I should have never left. There was opportunities where they said you can stay here. And I also was like, man, you got me up. I ain't staying here.
See, with me, my first duty station was Fort Polk, so they, I guess that was already considered like the
Woo!
butt of the army. So I guess only place I could go up was like,
Anywhere.
right, 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 right. So yeah,
So yeah, so when you got those orders there, you like, this is the army, but I got to get out of here. And
right,
then
yeah, because it was I was there 3 years. I deployed from there and everything, reclass, and then I got orders to Hawaii, and then I was like, okay, going to Hawaii.
the army blessed you after Fort Polk.
Yes, it did.
You were supposed to be broken. You were supposed to be stuck in Fort Polk.
Right.
They was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, send his ass to Hawaii to keep this dude in here and see
Right. Right. Right.
Ooh, we. So
And
yeah, back from a little break. We had to kind of get our snacks together, get our mics together. But I believe we were somewhere talking about, basically just knowing the NCOs and or the NCO, the retention NCOs, and
yeah.
how duty stations always seem to be the one you left was better than the one you're going to.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, I said I always pop up to the unit like, I don't like none of y'all. Don't talk to me. And
Right.
it takes me a minute. Take me a minute to become friends, even though I'm pretty close with some friends to this day.
Yeah.
Um, but it usually kind of be like that. I usually just kind of look around like, it could be the littlest thing, bro. It could be the NCO. I think the make or break for me is the first sergeant or the commander. If
Right.
I'm the new soldier in the formation with the packet, the package you always have when you first in process, no one knows you. They give you a random fucking squad leader, team leader to fall in formation with. They're like,
Mhm.
hey, yeah, you're gonna be with Sergeant Wells, your
Yeah.
sergeant, whatever. And you're like, oh, I don't even know him. And like you're in the end of the formation, they all know each other, acting all weird and shit, got inside jokes in the formation, and you're like, bunch of losers.
Right.
You're like if you're the new guy, you're like, you guys are corny. Like, what are y'all doing? Like,
Yeah, I think the worst experience I had was actually going to Fort Hood, man, because when I flew in there, I think one person knew I was coming. I actually had one of my previous friends from Germany pick me up. When I got to the unit, they didn't even have a place for me to stay. So since I was an NCO, I couldn't stay in the barracks. So even though we was about to deploy to Kuwait, they said I still had to stay off post. So I stayed in a hotel for like a week or so
running it
and
up.
running it up. And then so I had to go find a place for a month, literally like a apartment for a month. And I paid like $600 for that month. And then I gave them my orders like, hey, I'm about to deploy. They was like, well, did you know? Then I was like, no, I didn't know. But that's what I had to do because they didn't even give me a place to stay. But going there, I don't want to down for a hood if somebody likes for a hood or whatnot. But when I went there, man, it was no love given to me there. And I was like, wow.
And even after Kuwait, we came back and all that stuff because I came back during COVID.
Yeah.
And so we had to like quarantine for 14 days and all that stuff. But even then, man, like I was going through some stuff while I was there, and no love for nobody, man. Like it was crazy. Like it was crazy.
So
And I really, I'm sorry, and that kind of really set the tone for me. I was like, oh yeah, especially coming from the place I came from, where I came from Germany, and everything there just ran kind of so smooth. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like transitioning from that, where everything's kind of unorganized, is like I couldn't deal with it no more, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
That's a rough, that's a rough taste. That's a sour taste in your mouth when you already an NCO and you come into your new command. So you're already a leader, and you're like, well, I'm about to fit right into the puzzle piece.
Right.
And then you like, so the NCOs are shit shows? Hold on.
Right.
So I'm supposed to fit in with y'all.
Right.
It's one thing if the soldiers are ate up, but y'all are basically privates with rank in this month. Nobody knew I was coming. I'm my own sponsor.
Man, nobody really knew I was coming. I didn't have a place to stay. They didn't make sure I was good when I got there. Luckily, I had a friend there already,
right?
And she came pick me up from the airport, took me to where I had to go, helped me I got a hotel and all that good stuff. And yeah, man, nobody knew I was really coming. I guess they probably did know I was coming. Maybe they forgot or something. I don't know.
They just ate up. It didn't matter if they knew you was coming or not. They had nothing for you anyway. That clearly they didn't have that part figured out.
I don't even think I was in contact with anybody before I got there. You know how usually you be in contact with like your sponsor before you get to the duty station? Yeah, I wasn't even in contact with nobody. It's crazy. But
so I had go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was about to say, but ultimately that led to me transitioning out the Army pretty much, because I was like, I can't deal with another place like this, you know.
No. Similar scenario, I was gonna say, I didn't know when you was done, but similar scenario. I had came from Fort Irwin to Fort Hood, and luckily I had served with Aaron Chavez, who's my battle buddy to this day. Him and his family basically adopted me and sponsored me just because I was keeping up with him. Right. I didn't even know what unit I was going to. I was just orders to Fort Hood reception, and I was an NCO. So when you do your little formations at that reception area, they don't have nowhere for you. And they literally, one thing I noticed about Fort Hood, the big Army, whatever, and I was sustainment. I wasn't an infantry, so I don't know how they was. Probably was better or worse. But there were the like big boy rules, like, oh, you're an NCO, like, oh, you're good. We got you. You're present. Where do I go? I don't know.
Right.
Like nobody was like, oh, man, you're right. You don't know where to go. There's like, you drove here? Or, I don't know. And you're like, yeah, I got my car. There's like, well, come back here tomorrow at 0600 for our first formation. I mean, other than that, I don't know what to tell you. You're a sergeant, man. So you're a sergeant. Figure it out. And you're like,
yeah,
that ain't how it worked.
Right. And then it's crazy because that's exactly what I had to do, because all my stuff was getting shipped from Germany, and it takes a little minute for your stuff to come, especially your car. So my car, I didn't have my car or nothing like that. I had to go rent a car and all that good stuff. And then luckily my car came like kind of like right before we left for Kuwait, but I had to drive to Dallas. Yeah, I had to drive to Dallas to go get it.
The port. And, go to the whatever.
Yeah, go to the port. Yeah, so
they still the same. And we got a little gap between us, but it seems to be the same. I ended up living with Chavez until we deployed. So come to find out, my homeboy Chavez was telling me about this 8-up unit. He's like, man, just hope you don't come to this. We're 88 Mike truck driver, so I go anywhere. I could be anywhere from, sustainment, just anything from infantry support to armor to chemical to whatever. You could be driving the fucking post commander around. You're just 88 Mike.
Yeah.
But he was like, man, laughing at me like, man, you could end up in my unit. I drive from his house a couple times. I say it took them about a week, 2 weeks, maybe. I come to the big the formation, the beginning for the accountability formation. only when I talk with you and I do this podcast does any of this stuff come back. Accountability. So I had to come to the whatever. So I'm driving up, and like you said, I'm driving up in my regular ass car in my ACUs, just to go stand in formation to be told I'm released. Right. So eventually, I believe I got the good news. Sorry, Gavin. Go to the CQ desk. They got your orders. They're going to tell you what unit you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. Go in there. You get your little whatever. Yeah, you're going to be signed to the 96 Transportation Sustainment. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's your packet. They're on Tank Destroyer. I'm just making up roads. I know there's a Tank Destroyer.
Yeah.
You don't know, here again, just like some Fort Hood. Okay, Tank Destroyer. Over there by the APs. You're like, I'm not from here. Right. I know it's a Fort Hood. Everybody want to talk to you like you're stupid because they think that's the army. Like, we're Fort Hood people. We're big army. We don't have to baby nobody.
Right.
I just remember, bro, like, yeah, here's your orders. I was like, so what do I do now? They're like, go to your unit. I'm like, today, tomorrow, like when am I going to this? Like,
you
got 24 hours. You got 24 hours to report. Like, like that type shit. I'm like, okay.
Right.
And I remember walking to my car, walking and talking on the cell phone. That's like the shit you ain't supposed to do.
Yeah, that's a big no.
When you were a sergeant new to somewhere, you don't feel like nobody can tell you anything because you already knew nobody know you. So I'm walking. I'm like, yeah, man, Chavez, man, I got these orders to something called a 96 Transportation. He was like, oh, that's my unit.
Well, that's good. At least you was going to a unit where you knew somebody.
Yeah, but the unit sucks so bad. That's the whole more. That was the point of the story. He was like, I hope you don't get where I'm at.
Right.
I was like, oh, me neither. I hope I don't go where you at either.
Yeah, man. I've been in some not so good places, not so bad places, but I guess it's everywhere you go is what you make it. So I think that's the mentality that I was trying to have when I was especially leaving Germany. But man, sometimes it's just you just can't make it good. But I guess you can. I guess it's different for everybody.
It can't. So and I know we're supposed to be talking about transitioning too, but I feel like there's a lot of history before Hood before we get to like we're in Ohio. You went on your deployment because I was in the same boat. I had like weeks to months before we deployed when I got to 96 Transportation. There wasn't no point in me getting a place. I actually lived with Chavez until we deployed.
Yeah.
But I was considered geographically bachelor because I was still technically married. I was married. We were separating, but I still held married status. Was you married or single, or was you in between? Was you supposed to get family housing, or like what was that next step? When you redeployed.
So I was in the same boat as you, pretty much geographically bachelor. I probably messed that up a lot.
Everybody do.
Yeah. But yeah, I was that. So that's why that was like the main thing why I couldn't stay in the barracks. And plus I was E5 at the time. But when I got back from Kuwait, I had found me a place and everything. I was good to go. And then that's my wife now that I have now. That's when she came down and lived with me.
Put her on the orders, dependent, and you was like, oh, we're going to get this space. Okay. So everything got smoothed out when you came back.
Yeah. Everything was smooth. Like, good thing, like, man, I'm so grateful I had people that I knew there. Like one of my best friends, Sarn Long, Sanar, shout out to Sarn Long, man. He was like, he really helped me a lot, like, because I didn't have nobody to leave my car to. I didn't have nobody there. So I left it with one of the NCOs that I was cool with. And then I knew Sarn Long was coming. So I just said, bro, just hold on to my car until my homeboy comes, And then so when my homeboy came, he got my car from him, and then he just drove it around for like the whole time I was gone, And then once my wife came down,
I've done that before. I've done that.
Yeah. So when my wife came down, she got the car, And he even helped her like move some of the stuff out of storage that we had into our new place and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, I miss that about the military, man.
yeah, so I'm real grateful for him, man. That's my boy, man. He just got back from Korea. So
Oh, he's still in. He's still in.
oh yeah, he a lifer, man. I think he said he got like I think he been in 14 years, so he got like 6 more years left or
He got
something like
6
that.
more to go. I got some lifers too that even that I still know to this day.
Yeah.
They on their last lap though. Like most of them on their last PT formation. They
Right.
they
I was looking back at it today. I was like, dang, if I would have stayed in, I would have been like year 13, going on year 13, 7 more years to go. I was like, oh, I couldn't do it.
man, I gotta do the math.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't do it.
24, 2005. I'd have been 19 years
Oh yeah, you would have been done.
if I would have made it.
Yeah, that too. I always tell people they ask like, how long was you in? I told them I was in 10 years. They was like, yeah, you just didn't want to finish it out. You only had 10 more to go. I was like, yeah, that's easier said than done. Way easier said than done. Dealing with all that BS. I was so tired of waking up 5:30 just to go do a bend and reach.
The bend and reach. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2.
Yeah, I couldn't take it no more.
Bro, it'll drive you insane. It's almost like Groundhog's Day.
Right. Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts.
Man, we both staring off in the camera, like reliving every PT formation. Like, damn.
I'm so glad I ain't gotta be there no more.
Man.
So glad I ain't gotta be there no more.
Being outside at 5:30, 6:30 to work out with everybody and go at the pace of the slowest man is ridiculous to me. Am I getting a workout if we going as fast as bro? And he can't run?
Yeah.
Am I getting a workout if the NCO conducting the PT ain't even barely passing a PT test?
Right.
Or are we just doing the formality? Are we just doing the formation?
We just doing it because that's what they say we have to do. And that's it. I know when I was infantry, not to go off tangent.
Go off tangent, man.
But I know when I was infantry, man, we never really did like the whole PRT thing. Like we never really did that. Like, so when I reclassed, everybody's talking about the bend and reach. I was like, all right, so I heard about this, but I might need to see how to do it. Because we never did it. You know what I'm saying? We just like everybody was like stretch on your own. And then we go work out. If it's we're gonna run that day, we're gonna stretch out on your own, get fucking ready to run. If we're not running that day, we're doing pull-ups, climbing rope, going to the gym, like doing physical stuff. But once I reclassed, it seemed like everybody was like they played Army too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just played Army too much. But the unit that I came from, we wasn't like that, so we did Army stuff, but like we almost kind of felt like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say like above like certain stuff, you know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. No, you say
it.
It is.
Yeah, so like being infantry, everybody works for you, so you kind of get in this mindset or mentality that I'm infantry, I don't have to fucking do this stupid shit, you know what I'm saying? So it was like that.
I get that. Go ahead.
I was about to say that goes to like when I reclassed and I went to my new unit and they was talking about Motor Pool Monday and PMCS and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Like, what's the 5988? I have no idea.
Dog, I know that too well. We talked about that before. So to kind of caveat on my experience, I was my first duty station. I was just like I just explained. I'm like, didn't know. I'm like, man, I don't even want to be here. I went to an SF brief as an E4 because I come from a military background, so I did know there was a difference.
Right.
My dad was a rocket sign in Fort Campbell. Not to say he was like super militaried out, But if I'm driving, like if I'm a young person on base, I over the years I kind of understood the difference between the combat arms and the guys that support. I just somehow can made the connection. And not saying he taught me anything. I'm just saying being exposed to military, I just knew the difference over the amount of time he spent. So when I came to Hawaii as an E4, I was like, this ain't it. Y'all doing the dumbest stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Right. That's
exactly. You're not really getting to our true potential. Like you guys are not even. You're wasting time doing PT just to do the formation. You're not even really doing that with nobody.
Right.
So I tried to go combat arm. I tried not even combat because that's not even combat arms. That's like that's they tell anybody if you E4 and up, you can come try out with us. And in my mind, what you just described was the culture I wanted to be around. Because at the time I was in shape. I didn't need someone to guide my PT. If you would have let 18, 19-year-old Jess alone, that's what it did the most anyway. I would have ran, pushed up on my own. I would have did the bench. I would have worked my triceps. I already had a whole regimen that I was already good at that got me in shape for doing military shit. So it was like, I feel what you're saying. Like my path could have easily been infantry, and I'd have been like coming from support. They'd be like, go ahead and lead the PT formation. Like everybody getting company or platoon, that's it. The squad been there, and they'd have been like, bro, what?
Yeah,
the squat bender.
Right. Yeah, I remember it was literally like, okay, stretch out on your own, and then all right, y'all ready? Let's go, type shit. Like, and then we're like, okay, we're gonna run down to the gym, or we're gonna run down to the pull-up bars and the ropes and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So I did have NCOs throughout my career that came in reclass to truck driver. Everybody comes to truck driver. I don't know why it is. I do know why it is, because it's like if we need infantrymen and we need truck drivers, like
right.
So we had everybody from reclass Marines to combat arms to like. So I've had NCOs that once the main element of the platoon be like, the platoon sergeant be like, break down to y'all squads and conduct PT on your own. You always got that cool NCO that's like, hey, meet me at the gym.
Right.
You're like, we going to the gym?
Right.
Then you get to the gym, he's like, in 30 minutes, meet me back at the front door. And you're like, I get to work out?
Right.
We don't have to stand in a line and do the same thing?
Yeah.
It blow your mind. But yeah, so I kind of feel, Billy, when you say that, that's that part that made me be like, man, I should have went combat arms.
Yeah, I mean,
PT, just PT.
Right. I think it was cool going combat arms because I kind of got best of both worlds. So I kind of got a taste of the combat arm side, and I got a taste of the support side. So what they didn't know in the support side, like if we're doing certain times training or something like that, and they need to know how to walk in a wedge formation or foul formation, how to flank and all that stuff. I was always a person to go to lead that training in some type of way. So I kind of got best in both worlds, and then vice versa. Like going to the support side, I didn't know nothing about points, like when to get promoted and schooling and stuff like that. Just like I'm guaranteeing a lot of infantrymen don't, because you only need 40 points to get promoted. But in my MOS, man, I got promoted to E6 with like 650 some points, almost 700 points, and I was the highest person to have so many points. I didn't know about the OML and all that good stuff. I didn't know about college and weapons and all that stuff. So I kind of got the best of both worlds, I can say.
No, you did. All right, well, shoot, we went down memory lane, and a lot seems to be similar for real. Yeah. So now we at the point, like I said, and before we took our break, you're at the point now where you made your mind up, and it kind of be something like you shaved that day in the morning, or you stopped off at the Burger King to pick up that coffee and that croissant because you ain't have to do PT that day. You done made up some shit you got to do. Yeah. So And as you're reaching and grabbing that, you're like, I want to be a civilian. I want to do this every day.
Yeah.
As you're like driving past people doing PT and you're at the dentist appointment or you got to go do whatever the thing during PT hours, you're like, hold on. How about I get out?
Right.
I could do this every day. I don't need to be running and doing this with them. I want to be a civilian.
Right.
So at some point that clicked. I don't know where specifically it clicked for me. Oh, I do know when it clicked for me. When I first got to Fort Hood, just like you said. So we shared this. I didn't even have to see the unit. I was like, I'm getting out.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, this is your sign to me. I'm listening. I'm out.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to get out before the deployment happened. So imagine going on a whole deployment. I even tried to join the Rangers band. Every time I got so fed up with being a mic, I'd go to special operations recruiter like, can you get me out of my unit? And I said this before in our long podcast. They was like, we can, but you got to do your deployment because you're on orders. And I'm like, I'm getting out when I get back. So it's either you take me now,
right,
or I'm getting the F out.
Right.
Why the hell would I want to come back from Afghanistan?
Yeah.
And then go through your BS because it's all BS. I'm sorry. Now that I'm a civilian, I'm gonna be uncanny. There's probably more hazing than there's training. So really, I'm gonna get broken overseas in real life. Come back and then go to one of the little stupid little courses and get more broken.
Yeah.
Just to go to a unit to go to deploy again. So I was like, no, it's off the table. Like if I can't drop a packet right now, and you guys go to my commander and be like, and one of your NCOs is now going to go to the Ranger bag. He's going to go, off to the course. And, sorry, it happens. We need numbers. And he wants to try out, which I thought that's what they would want. But whatever. So, yeah. I knew I was getting out. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you were saying something.
Oh, no. I was about to say, when I got there, I was like, I'm about to get out. And then when I was in Kuwait, I got promoted to E6, and then I was like, well, yeah, maybe I can give it a try, push, this people retire as E6s, you know what I'm saying? So
they sure do.
I get promoted again, but I'm going to finish it out. Got back from Kuwait, and then this BS was happening, like with my commander and first sergeant and all that stuff, and I had some stuff going on, and then I got hurt real bad, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just get out. I'm just trying my chances of getting out, So that was the kind of the switch for me, especially when I got hurt. I tore my Achilles, and I was just like, yeah, I'm
using a boot. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, man. And then I was going back to sick call, and they really wasn't doing nothing. Then they was telling me I should get these shots. I was on the waiting list for like 6 months to get these shots, never got them. And then it's crazy because as soon as I got out, I went to the orthopedics one here.
I went there too.
And then they did a MRI, which I was supposed to have, but never got. I mean, I got an MRI when I first tore it, but I was going back because I was in pain so much,
Yeah, Achilles hurts. I remember going through. I had mine rupture.
So even after it repaired itself, because I didn't have surgery, it just repaired itself, I guess. I got an MRI, and it comes to find out that I have like Achilles tendonitis, where it's like pretty much the bone is entangled in the tendon, and it causes pain. So I would need to have surgery for them to repair the tendon and clear out some of the bone and all that stuff. So I was like, dang, man, I needed all that. Only thing these people was telling me is I need some PRP shots. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, man. And then I was like, you know what? Y'all don't even want a med board. I don't even care. I'm gonna just get out. I'm gonna just try my chances on getting out. And then that's what I did, man. So to lead into it, the transition for me, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, it was a lot getting used to, but other than that, pretty smooth. Pretty smooth
after the BS. He just ended with it was pretty easy after that. Yeah, you was getting out. You made it easy for them. They didn't make it easy for you. You was getting out. You're not easy for someone to let you just go. Like, they just like, oh, okay.
Right. Man, I just stopped. I
Everybody,
was kind of like towards the end, man. I just became like a straight shitbag. Like I was just like, I'm not going to formation.
yeah,
I don't even care. Do what y'all got to do. I'm about to get out. And then
yeah,
they didn't really
everybody
care
goes.
anyway because they was about to deploy again. So I was just
Yeah,
like, they not worried about me. I'm not worried about them. I'm getting out.
yeah. Everybody goes to the shit bag. You mean you're getting out the army? You know, you're going to the classes. You're if or that you wait till the last week before you leave, and all of a sudden they're like, you know, you gotta go to these classes. You like, where they at? Where the classes
Right.
at? You know, and then you're feeling your swag of like, I'm a civilian. In a couple more days, I ain't even gotta, I'm gonna outrank everybody on the base. I'm gonna be a civilian, like, because
Right.
that's the idea in the military is like, I gotta answer to you because you got chevrons. But if I
Mhm.
am a civilian, I can pass you coming out the shopette and be like, hey, Sergeant, you know, it ain't nothing you can do about it. You're not even a cop. You can't do shit. You got to be like, fuck
Yeah.
you, Gavin. Fuck you. Why are you still around Fort Hill? You supposed to been left. You know what I
Right.
mean? Type stuff.
Yeah. And it was like yeah, man. I got out and then I was like, cool. And then I was like, my VA is pretty solid, you know. So I was like, I really ain't got too much to worry about that much. And
Right.
then we making it work.
Mm-hmm.
We making it work.
All right. So we out now. So we didn't made our decision. We got out. I came out of my last deployment, and then I was E5P. You know, you got to throw that P on there because
Oh, yeah, P.
that P. So they were trying to hold that rocker over me to keep me in
Mhm.
the company. They're like, well, you E5P. I'm like, so the carrot was set. Like, yeah, I could be a staff sergeant and my 2 combat tours.
Mhm.
I could ride this out, and then I could
Mhm.
still go ranger. But I'm like, I don't think that rocker is enough for my freedom. Like
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
y'all showed me what y'all was capable of, and it was utter ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Like,
So did you have a plan? Did you have like a plan, like a set plan when after you got out?
I mean, other than a dumbass plan, they take you to TAPS resume workshop and,
Yeah.
ooh, you're 88 Mike. You want to be a cop or a truck
Right.
driver, or do you want to go work on an oil shell, or do you
Yeah.
want to stay on the post and just take one of these jobs? Like, no,
Mhm.
I mean, my plan. I told them I had a plan to get out. I was telling everybody I had a plan. They was like, "What's your plan?" I'm like, get out. And he's
Yeah.
like, "What else?" I'm like, get money.
Right.
What's the plan, idiots?
Yeah.
I kept telling people there's jobs out there. What do y'all mean? What am I doing? I'm gonna go get a job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go to Ohio, and like making it all sound like I got it all planned out.
Right.
I had nothing planned out. I was just ready to go.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna live off whatever my last paycheck was.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get home because us being from Columbus, Ohio, there's a lot of jobs.
Mhm.
We didn't return to no podunk ass town. So if it was a podunk ass town, we probably would have never got out.
Right.
Columbus ain't nothing but jobs.
Right.
So I already knew I was good. I mean,
Yeah.
there wasn't nothing to worry about as far as a job.
Mhm.
I was like, go apply for jobs and whatever calls me, go work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do y'all think regular humans do?
Right.
Like, what is this question? What am I going to do? I'm going to get a job.
Right. So you was like one of them. You was one of them soldiers that really didn't have a plan. You was like
Nah, I was
you was
get
the
the
ones
fuck
that
out.
they told us not to be.
Oh yeah, they're exactly right. Don't do that. And I did it. I got
Yeah.
out. I also had injury though. It's the noid in my back. I guess they call it a noid, but it's basically one of my lower discs has a
Mhm.
little wear and tear in it from it. You can only see it on a MRI or the one that can see MRIs are for muscle and stuff and tendons,
Yeah.
but then an X-ray. So
That's right.
one of my discs. So if it's like a hockey puck or whatever, it just got wear and tear. And I know
Mhm.
where it's from. It's from driving a military vehicle, wearing all your gear,
Mhm.
and bouncing around.
Bouncing up and
I know
down.
where.
Yeah.
So when I knew I was hurt is when I was sending a soldier to WLC, and the
Mhm.
sergeant major of our sustainment brigade has them all meet him at the brigade or battalion levels, I didn't forgot all these years. So you would take your soldier as an NCO, you would take them up there, and you would drop them off and leave.
Right.
Well, this motherfucker said, "Oh no, I want the sergeants to run with us." I'm just fresh off we all fresh off of the deployment. Even my soldier going to WLC, but he's a soldier. He younger than me. He ready to go. I was like, bet. I didn't even know I was injured. This when I first knew that the Army had injured me, that I even had an injury. I had no injuries up until then.
Yeah.
Bet. I'm already in my PTs. You had to come in PTs to drop off your soldier.
Right.
So boom, 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 boom. We in the boardroom with him. Da da da. Most NCOs, he usually let people go, and he's like, "No, we're all going to go for a motivational run." When I ran with him, I realized that my whole back went numb. Just numb across the back. Then I realized, I wasn't really stepping out like I thought I was stepping out. I'm starting to look left and right in the formation. Am I about to fall out? I never fell out in formation ever in my whole life. But the numbness in my back and my legs ain't even moving like everybody. Everybody else in step. Here we go. Oh, the little skinny ass black sergeant major. I remember his little skinny ass, but this motherfucker like a marathon runner. He on the side. Here we go. Here we go. He getting all hype and shit. I'm looking at him like, bro, I am hurt.
Yeah,
I'm hurt. Little bald head black guy. So after I heard CK, he called me out because I was hurting. He see me struggling, like, "Hey, come on, I'm like, I'm making my way through the ranks, like, watch out, excuse me, you be in the far right, you gotta get to the far left.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, here we go. Turn off from the back. I'm falling back from the formation.
Yeah.
He's like, who is he on that? He can't hang. He calling me out. I'm like, man, I just stopped running. I walked off to the side, man. My back was in so much pain.
Yeah.
Bro, I laid in the grass and just kept rocking back and forth. I'm only 26 years old.
Yeah.
They finished the run. I cut across all the grass to get back to the cars. I cut through areas you ain't never seen nobody walk through.
Yeah.
If a motherfucker like, hey, you get out the grass, I was walking through all of that.
Right.
Right to my car. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't give a flying fuck. Got back to my car, sat in that car. They came back around their last formation. I went back in the building. He's like, yeah, they all gotta say some smart shit. Hey, I don't know how you guys got NCO sending y'all to WLC. And I'm like,
yeah.
You don't even know my circumstance.
See, that's one thing that kind of really turns me off. Is they always say, well, if you can't run, it's all about running in the Army for some reason. They feel like if you can't run, you're not a good soldier or a good NCO. When it's not all about, it's just running. Some people is just not really good at running. Some people is just really good at running naturally. Some people just gotta work. Some people just gotta work really hard to get good at running, and it's just all about, for some reason, running. We're going to run. What
do you think about running?
We just want to run. That's the main staple of the Army. You got to learn how to run. And then some people might just be really good runners, but they're shitbag NCOs,
Hell yeah.
You get that a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I know, especially in the infantry, it was okay, we're gonna, if you're really good at running, but you can be a shitbag NCO, it kind of weighs out 50-50.
No, for facts.
Yeah.
And I used to be a runner. That's why, and I never met this sergeant major before. I mean, he's in the rear detachment. We just came back. I don't know this dude. He don't know me.
Yeah.
And I used to be the runner. I used to be the 300 stud, the runner, the sergeant guy with A group, da da da. So when he hit me, he basically dug in on that weakness on me. We already talked about, we already wanted to get out of Fort Hood. It was just more, it was so much more to be fuck you guys here. I'm getting the out.
Yeah.
I'm getting out the Army and I'm getting the out. That's you want to leave in the most disrespectful way.
Right.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
That's where I was at with him. So my soldier went off the WOC. I came back to the unit. I went to sick call. Same thing you just said. A bunch of nothing happened. Like you said, I wasn't fighting for no med board. I already had limited time. I already told the retention NCO, like, you could just stop asking me. I think at one point it was my homeboy Estrada, and I think they passed it on to somebody else because they kind of screwed him, and put him back in the line unit. But I think whoever they had in the rear detachment, I was like, when you know you about to get out, you start talking to people the way you want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I told this person, I said, you could just stop asking me.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I was like, I was mad. I was like, don't ask me that. Like, if somebody was like, hey, sorry, Gab, you about to re-enlist? I'd ignore them. And they kept saying it like a joke. I'd turn around and be like, hey, I'm not. Stop asking me.
Yeah. No, for real, I get that.
It was. I did it to the first sergeant. Hey, sergeant, Gab, you getting out? I was like, don't ask me that.
Yeah.
First sergeant. Don't. I'm getting out.
Yeah, I know they came to me. They was like, "Yeah, you want to go to be a recruiter?" I said, "No, I'm about to get out." What about drill? You want to go drill? Fuck no, I'm about to get out. And then there's going on that rotation to Poland. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting the fuck. I ain't about to go back to no fucking Poland. Like hell no. I'm about to get out. I'm definitely about to leave." So yeah,
can't make it no more clear than that. But other than that, hey, you're watching C.O.B. Make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe.